Hi, this is Carrie Hand, Newt from Aliens, and you're listening to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Review podcast. The episode mostly comes at night. Mostly.
They've conquered the big screen. Now, get ready for the spin-off sure to send chills down your spine. It's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin in Don't Go Out There, the series.
Welcome back, everyone, to DGOT, the series. Again, this is Dustin, Nico, taking a much-needed break hiatus for this week, so I'll be running the ship here. Hopefully that doesn't scare anyone away. We're going to continue going through Alien Earth. We're on episode 6 now, and I'll go ahead and get us started with my general thoughts. I thought this was a good episode. I thought it got a little bit slower at times, but not in a bad way. Like, it just kind of slowed things down and continued building on some intrigue more than explicitly spelling things out for us. I had a lot of questions about how things are going to play out in the future episodes, which is what you want to keep me tuned in. So overall, I thought this was a good episode. I liked it better than the previous two, I think. So anyway,
oh, wow.
Brian, what'd you think?
I mean, I agree. It was good. I mean, I've been pretty vocal about me liking the entire series so far. Now, this episode in particular, I don't know, it was a little bit of I don't want to say filler episode, but maybe a bridge episode to the next one. I mean, I didn't mind it. I thought it was good. I'm kind of surprised to hear you say that you liked it better than the other two. But listen, listen. I'm just going to say it. Fuck this. Listen, peek behind the curtain. We are 1 week behind the real show out there. A fan of the show, resident alien expert, fan of the show, Matt Sears, kind of told me basically the finale and how it ends, and I'm just kind of like, fuck. Like, and I don't know if I even want to watch the next two episodes because, like, I can't really say anything because I don't want to say it'll ruin it for y'all. It's not. Let's just say that there's going to be a season 2. And shit that I wanted to get resolved in these next two episodes is not resolved whatsoever. So in my mind, I'm building up to something these next two episodes that I'm not going to get. And so I'm a little bit fucking knocked down on it a little bit. So anyway.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because it's almost like this could probably just be a 2.5 hour movie and get the job done. But no, we got to stretch things out and get 5 seasons up anyway.
This could be a trilogy of 3 movies, absolutely. Yeah, there's a couple of episodes that could have been a movie by itself, I think.
Yeah, last week, episode 5 could have been a fucking movie by itself.
Yeah, exactly.
It was awesome. Give me a whole series revolving around Morrow as a character. A significant drop off just for the simple fact that this episode was not revolving around my man Stone Cold Steve Morrow, okay? That's my guy, badass. I know Dustin was off last week, buddy, but I came up with a bunch of new nicknames for my guy. That's my fucking guy. That's the anti-hero we all fucking need right there.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been sitting here this whole time like, man, I don't remember last week at all, and that's because I wasn't.
Fair. I thought this episode was just okay. Right? I mean, we're kind of going back to a story that I feel is starting to lose my interest a little bit. I do feel like they're dragging it out some. This feels like maybe the first filler episode for me personally. I know that everyone else had, I was at episode 3 maybe that they didn't like. I can't remember which one back then, but I felt like, I'm kind of over this bro sis, storyline. And as much as I've liked the art, what is human element of this show, I would kind of like them to move that along too. So they're just not really progressing a ton. Some of the effects are cool, the stuff with the sheep and the kill that we get.
We have any other opening thoughts before I toss it to Brian for the scene by scene? All right, Brian, take it away.
We open up with another voiceover from old BK, and we see Wendy having a little chitty chat with the xenomorph as the Oculus eyeball, Eye of Sauron alien goat thing watches on, waiting. Kirsch and Hermit have a conversation where Hermit basically finds out Wendy isn't going anywhere, and Kirsch basically tells him that he's an idiot for wanting her to, that he is the one holding her back. We cut to Nibs undergoing some tests, but Adam Eanes refuses to wait for more time and instead asks Dame and Arthur to restore her state to before they visit the tower. Kind of like a Microsoft Windows rollback thing. Dame reluctantly agrees, but Arthur is adamantly against it, prompting Eanes to fire his ass. "You fired." Tells him to pack up his shit and leave today or face being executed. We cut to Hermit and Wendy having a conversation in the hallway where Hermit seems to hint around about her getting out of there, but Wendy counters with, "What if I don't want to go?" Dun dun dun. We fast forward some, and accompanied by Kirsch, Cavalier attends a meeting with Utani, who is accompanied by Morrow. Utani wants the cargo back, as the ship was Wayland Utani's, but Cavalier claims the cost of damages and civilian deaths make it his property to investigate. They finally reach an agreement wherein Utani will give him billions for the damages, but Cavalier states that he will not return the cargo for another 6 weeks. Protocol for off-world quarantine and all that. After the reveal last week, he has simply gone full villain mode. What did you guys think of that set of scenes?
I too, Brian, also enjoy this open every time. It is a really good open to the show of every episode. I said the same thing about Bates Motel, man. Great. Always watch the opening credits. It's great stuff. I am glad that we have Wendy back on our screen for no particular reason here. It's been so long. Hey, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. But episode 5 was so good and so standout for me. I forgot what the fuck happened in episode 4. I really should have. I know I had my notes, but I really should have gone back and watched episode 4 before watching this one. Spoiler, I did not. So it took me a bit to catch up in my head. I was lost for a little bit. And then I remembered she's kind of the alien whisperer here. She kind of has a way to not calm them down, but rope them in and get on their level. Okay, that's fine. My man BK would shout out for that nickname there, Dustin. Is recording his thoughts like a couple idiots with a podcast would do. Who would do something stupid like that? That's all I'm saying.
Losers.
Podcasts are fucking lames, dude. Anyway, just don't really love this idea or story that we're getting now where maybe she's kind of friends with these creatures or soothers of these creatures. I don't know.
Yes.
I want it to have more depth. Sorry, my mic fell because I'm cheap and I won't buy a new one.
Mike's mic fell.
Yeah, Mike's mic fell. But I'm not a big fan of that story because they haven't given me a reason yet. And I know it's a show. You have to take your time. But, let's move it along here, right? I kind of want to know if she has some kind of special power or something. I don't know. And then I remember the fake pregnant human or a real pregnant human or a real fake pregnant human. I don't fucking know. But my phone, while I was trying to take these notes, changed human to Cuban. So it looked like fake pregnant Cuban, and I want to know what the fuck kind of shit my phone was on, man. That's pretty fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. That's all I'm saying. Also,
I think you were referencing the pregnancy scare that Ana de Armas and I had. She is a Cuban.
Hold on now. I thought you were sworn off of Ana de
Tom
Armas
Cruise
these days. Yeah.
This was before. This was years before she betrayed my trust by dating a guy that's old enough to be my grandfather.
Wow. I see. I will say I don't have a lot of sympathy for my doctor guy here who refuses to do a job. This is the military or their version of the military, man. You can't just disobey a direct order. That's not how this works, man. You get fired. All right. So sorry, buddy. It's the way it goes.
You're saying that's not how business is done.
It's not how business is done. That's correct. I am starting to lean in and agree with you guys here. This bro and sister storyline, it's established already, okay? We have their relationship down. Let's move along to something more interesting with that, right? Within that story. I just don't feel like I feel like they're kind of trying to ramp it up. Maybe like you mentioned, Brian, a bridge into the next episode. I have not watched ahead, but I don't know. I get it. They're brother and sister, and they have a deep love for each other. That's great. Last thing I have here, BK is such a prick, man. Full on chicken shit heel now, man. He's like the guy with the world title that has a bunch of other people do his shit, and he talks shit from his chair. That's what my man BK is like. And, yeah, I kind of like that we have a full-blown heel version of this guy.
I think that Netflix has ruined television watching. I think that by dropping all the episodes at once, we just got so accustomed to being able to watch it all through that now when we try to watch something week by week, it takes us out of it. I realized that the other day. I think that's when I'm saying all this stuff about this could have been a movie, it's because I'm so used to just binging a show that I don't want it to be drawn out like that. I think Netflix is to blame. But anyway.
Good point.
It was clear early on for me that David Franco was back as cinematographer this episode. It's just something about his framing and his angles. They're so distinguishable. He's really good. So anytime I see that he's a cinematographer on one of these episodes, I get excited because there's some really good camera work. What a bizarre analogy from Kirsch. An onion taking care of a star? What is bro on? Like, what? Anyway. Adam Mines, he ain't messing around early here. Fired them folks and told them that they may die if he sees them again. That's cold-blooded. I do feel really bad for Joe. Like, his sister was on the brink of death. So they did everything. The family did everything they could to keep her alive. And now, would everyone, her included, just be better off if she were dead? Like, she's not human anymore. It's quite cruel to give her the illusion that she is. Like, she's a tool now. They view her as property. I don't know. That's cruel. If I go into a meeting and some young punk walks in wearing his pajamas and puts his nasty bare feet on the table, I'm leaving. Negotiations are over. I really hate BK. I will say, though, for $50 billion, yeah, she can have anything I own or anyone I know. But if I was him, I would have said, $50 billion? Man, who you think was on that ship? Chelsea Clinton? Anyway, this was a solid this was a solid open. It's really tough to me to go back to follow a flashback episode. I think that we all experience that. Like when we do a flashback episode, number one, most of the time we don't like them. I think this flashback episode, obviously last week, was good. But most of the time we're like, it's so oddly placed. Did we really need those details? But then when you follow it up, if you don't come out of the box gunning, it takes people out of it. And I think that's what I heard from you guys is you just wanted more after a flashback, and that's totally fair.
Yeah. After that meeting, Yutani is pissed and gives the go-ahead for Moro to do what he needs to do to retrieve the specimens as soon as possible. After the meeting, Moro and Kirsch somehow end up in the elevator together, although Kirsch left with Boy earlier, I thought, but I don't know. Either way, they have a dick measuring contest, and Moro tells him that he'll see him soon, hinting at the inevitable fight. Back at Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, Wendy visits Nibs, and they both realize that she's had her mind wiped as Nibs doesn't remember anything about the towers or the baby she thought she had, and you can tell the wheels are turning. We cut to Hermit. Slightly is trying his best to lure him to the eggs, but to no prevail as Hermit's team member interrupts them and asks him to accompany him on patrol. Not a ton going on here, but what'd you think, Mike?
I swear to fucking God, Riverside, if I'm gonna fucking light a bag of dog shit on your fucking porch. Fucking sorry ass mute button. Jesus Christ.
It's poop again.
It's poop again.
Don't have a whole lot on this set of scenes because, again, I thought that this was kind of a filler episode here. You mentioned it right. The last thing that you were saying, Dustin. This last episode did so much for me, investing in the character of Stone Cold Steve Morrow, that I'm honestly not near as interested as I was in the episode before that one, in this story that they're telling right now. Like, that backstory and that episode, the intensity of it was so good. And the character development of Morrow, there's a stutter, first one all night, son of a bitch. This character development of Morrow was so interesting that now we're moving into different characters that they haven't quite fleshed out in this way, like Kirsch, right? Like, yeah, we get Wendy and a couple other characters, but we don't have the investment in some of them like we do Morrow now. And so that's what I'm most interested in. And so I have a question. Is this like reboot of, I forget her name, I'm sorry, reboot of Fake Pregnant Girl here?
Nibs.
Is it Nibs? Correct. Is it supposed to be an algorithm for something? Because what is unethical about what they've done? They removed that part of her memory, like she doesn't remember or whatever. Like, I get that, but like, is that supposed to be an algorithm for something? Even Wendy later uses that she didn't have a choice.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
Do you mean allegory?
Yeah, that's what I meant. What's the algorithm? I'm so used to saying fucking algorithm. Jesus Christ.
I was about to say, I
wrote
don't know
algorithm.
about Al Gore.
Dude, I even wrote
I don't know about Al
algorithm in
Gore's
my
rhythm.
notes.
Al Gore's rhythm.
I don't know what kind of rhythm Al Gore has, but
He
he
has
pulled
super serious rhythm is what he has. Super serial. Sorry.
Jesus
allegory.
Christ.
Is this supposed to be an allegory for something else? Or is it a stand-in for a real world issue? If it is, maybe I missed it, but, Wendy even has a line in the next set of scenes where she mentions that Nibs, she didn't have a choice. And I'm like, well, what's so unethical about the experiment that they've done here, I guess? I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I feel like they kind of knew what they signed up for. They're being studied. It's science. Last thing I have, which is slightly is like the worst one they could have taken over in his brain here and manipulated. Like he's such a fucking pussy, scared ass boy. Anyway, that's all I had.
He's a kid. Pretty cool flashbacks from Nibs here before she woke up. That's some really cool surreal imagery. And I like that she had no recollection of anything when she woke up. Like, it adds intrigue to her character and what direction they're going to go with it. I also like the continuing developments with Slightly. Very curious how that whole thing's going to play out. And to see him going to see Joe, like, that was great. Ardash Gaurav did such a great job portraying his nervousness. Like, to me, he's the star of the show as far as acting wise, at least this episode, because you really felt like he was a little boy trapped in a man's body that was just scared to death. And I thought that was great. Overall, it is what it is. I think it's a decent set of scenes overall, though.
Out on patrol with his team, Herman is convinced to let them know what he is planning, and Chibuzzo warns him not to fuck up a good thing. We cut quickly to see Wendy still communicating with a rapidly growing Xeno now, and back to the helicopter where Kirsch asks Isaac to take care of the specimens in his absence. This turns out to be about as good as you'd expect, as the Oculus Eye of Sauron alien sees an opening and takes it, scaring him into accidentally locking himself in to the same cage as two fly-like creatures who spray acid on his face, killing him before feeding on his body. Scariest environment imaginable. Yummy. We cut to Dame's office as Wendy is still bothered by Nib's earlier behavior. She confirms that they reprogrammed her. Upset, Wendy declares that they are only using them as tools and finishes with asking Dame a banger of a question. What if you're what's wrong? And the next set of scenes is the ending, fellas.
Look, I know it's raining here on this island, but it is kind of a beautiful island. I mean, I got to be honest. It looks like something out of the most recent Planet of the Apes film. Very beautiful. And being stuck on an island, I know they're complaining, worked for Gilligan and the crew. I mean, what's the problem? The professor and Marianne were hooking up. I mean, they got to figure out how to make this work out here. It's not so bad. Nice tropical backdrop. Anyway, the cuts back and forth between the person outdoor, with the bug and the water moving, and then we have Kirsch inside, and it sounds like doom and gloom and metal. I thought was very good sound editing. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that. Now listen, they're only feeding this sheep hay. That's it. Like, we've kind of gotten this sheep to be a hybrid of something or another, and we're feeding it hay. Hey man, I don't know, but that had to be, that's got to be the worst job in this whole crew, is feeding these things. I don't know. That sounds like someone pulled the short straw there, man. That does not sound. That's one of the worst jobs in the whole operation. Maybe cleaning up after their bathroom. I don't know if they go to the bathroom, but I'm assuming that the sheep hybrid alien mind control thing probably takes a shit every now and then. The effects on the face look cool, but like I mentioned, again, wild kill, effects look great, but it does look like a scene from a Riley Reid film back in the day. That's all I'm saying. Just throwing that out there. But I like how, we have a morality question at play. What is a human? What is morally and ethically right? And we kind of get this back and forth with Wendy, and I'm sorry, I did not write her name down again. But again, we get this back and forth, and I do think it's interesting because Wendy clearly has feelings, right? She gets emotional here. She almost gets teary-eyed here. And so, I mean, would that not make her human in the way that they've described? My only problem is she complains about being studied. Yeah, that was kind of the deal, right? Like, that was kind of the whole part of the deal, and they knew all of this going in. Like, they're basically lab rats at this point for BK. And so I think I don't know. I'm torn on what questions they're trying to ask there. I guess
They're kids, though.
I know they're kids. I know, but it's hard for me to compartmentalize that because
the contract. They were kids. They're kids that were dying.
Okay, I'm okay with that being the morality question then, for sure. Okay, fine, but they're also being played by adults, so it's hard for me to compartmentalize that sometimes. I guess. Last thing, Wendy has fucking bars right here at the very end when she asks, "What if it's you that?" So, what if you're what's wrong? Great fucking line, Wendy. That's bars. I'm gonna steal that. Yeah, Dustin. What if it's you that's wrong about A24? I don't know. I just want to do that.
What if it's me that's wrong? I guess there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, buddy. We know.
Toodle's lying and saying that Curly isn't with him so he can go alone. Gee, I wonder if that's going to backfire. That sheep is so unsettling. I don't care how useful the research is. I'd have to kill it. There's no shot that I would ever want to look at that thing again. That's just creepy. Anyway, then, Slightly goes to do the feeding and the door fell off. He's screwed. And he deserves it. Moron got locked in because the sheep scared him just because he heard a noise. Also, who goes, he didn't have to go inside. Open the door, slide the tray in. You're still on the outside. He deserved it. Oh, well. I'm ready for the ending.
All right, here's the ending. We cut to Arthur taking his sweet time packing his things for someone who was told to bail or be killed as he's visited by Hermit. As a last act of kindness, he covertly deactivates Wendy's tracking device and gives Joe the code for a boat, which could allow Wendy and Joe to escape. Noticing Isaac is disconnected, though, he goes to the space lab, accompanied by Slightly. Arthur tries to move Isaac's body, but Slightly opens the cage of the xenomorph's eggs and walks him in, allowing a facehugger to latch onto Arthur's face in the face. Curse watches this through security cameras but does not tell Cavalier. Slightly hides along with Arthur's body in an air vent as the flies leave their chamber. And that's it, fellas. What do you think, Mike?
Look, I feel bad for my guy here. This, dead guy that looks like fine. It looks like ooze on his face. Okay, I'll just say ooze. I'll be polite so Brian doesn't have to do a little bit of extra work. It'd be awful to walk in on, right? Like a face melt or a face explosion. I don't know. I'd probably quit. Nah, not for me. I'm out. You can throw me out, sue me for trespassing like the one guy says earlier, but nope, I'm out. Also, I love how Herman here is asking about his sister. Like, what's he going to do? Tell the truth? He's being recorded. The whole thing is being recorded. This whole thing is an experiment, right? So, again, everything you do is being watched, which, by the way, that's a real-world allegory. Got it right that time, because everything we do is being watched. Somehow, some way, the CIA could be watching our podcast being recorded right fucking now. So, just throwing that out there. Not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but they're turning the fucking frogs gay, guys. I will say they're starting to slightly try to develop this brother-sister storyline, I guess. But I don't know. It's just not that interesting for me at the moment. It was good for them to reunite, and I thought that was a great way to kind of get us more character depth on the two of them. But I feel like they should be doing a lot more with that by now. Anyway, I will say I was hard on my man Slightly earlier. I feel bad for him. Seems like a good kid, right? And again, he is a kid, which you guys need to remind me of every episode that these technically are kids that are in human adult bodies. But man, I need him to just have a little bravery here, man. He's too sniveling for me. We've got to get it together, all right? We got shit to take care of, and Stone Cold Steve Morrow is going to be on your ass, all right? I love the effect where it looks like alien face opens up like a Venus flytrap. I've always liked when an alien head does that. This sheep, like you mentioned, Dustin, so unsettling. Really unsettling in this last shot here, where they where they get in on its face and eye, and it kind of moves like a human. Oh God, made my skin crawl. It was very effective. Last thing I have, alien wrapping around your face is a top 5 worst way to go. Nia Jax wrapping around your face, top 5 best way to go. Go ahead, Dustin.
Okay. Tense scene when Joe goes to talk to Arthur. Like, Buddy's on his way out the door, so what's he going to say? And what will Joe do based on his answer? I don't know if you guys noticed his hand being behind his back like that. That was cause for caution. My red flag was up. Him turning off the tracker, that was a great touch to make us wonder how that's going to play out. And then him seeing that Toodles is offline, that cranks up the tension. It's a tough spot Slightly was put in, and seeing his internal struggles when he let Arthur go, or when he let Arthur get got, that was good stuff. Again, like I said, Ardash Gaurav, great acting in this movie, in this episode. And it led to so much chaos. The fly getting loose, that's going to be a huge event in the next episode, I'm sure, and I can't wait to see how it's all going to play out. Overall, like, I think this episode I liked more than you guys, I'm sure. I gave it an 8.5.
Okay.
All right. You guys have any other fun facts or any other final thoughts?
Yeah, great job tonight on that scene by scene, Brian. Great job, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Shout out to our blood donors as always. We couldn't do the show without you.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back next week with episode 7. Only 2 episodes to go.
Shout out to brother Nico, Jason X.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody,